All right, welcome to a journey through my brain. Help to turn on some audio. Having a few glitches here and there. That's what live is all about. We will have our glitches, but we will work through them. Got to remember to turn the audio on if you want people to hear you. Because I hope I want people to hear me. Got my trusty jar of water that we are going to use to keep hydrated. A lot of people, do the coffee thing, do all that. I don't mind coffee, but water, good old water, is my main staple. That's what I drink. Drink water, or I drink water. Gave up very much everything else. Everything else just has way too much sugar, too much caffeine, too much everything else. It's like, why do it? Anyways, I am back with another episode of A Journey Through My Brain. My name is Paul Wirtanen, and I am here. We are going to talk about a couple things today. Mainly, we're going to look at how 2023 went. How 2023 is going. We still haven't finished 2023. We got a couple more days yet. But this will be the last show of the year, to my knowledge. And what to expect, what we're going to talk about is what to expect from 2024 as we move on into the new year. It is going to be hopefully some exciting changes. And as you probably have noticed, if you've been watching some of the videos already, we have started making changes. And we'll kind of give you an update and tell you what's going to happen in the next following year here. And then we're going to get on to the server build. Now, we'll talk about why I'm building the server in the first place. And then I'm going to show you what I'm doing for the server build. I decided it's time to build myself a server. So that is what we are doing, and we'll bring you kind of along on the journey. There will be some things I'll be able to do on the show here to explain on the show, and then there will be things I'll be doing offline and hopefully getting this thing up and running. I'd like to have this up and running hopefully before the end of the year, so it gives me a few more days to get this running. Don't know if I'll have it 100% to where I want it, because I'm still learning as I go, and that's what this show is about: learning the process, making the mistakes, and figuring out how to resolve them. So let's look back on 2023. It's been my inaugural year. We just got started with the show a few months ago. I've been doing the show now for 6 solo episodes, running about every 2 weeks. I would like to get it more often. We'll see if we can't work on that in 2024. We start out with not much microphone, camera, and I do run on vMix here, so I've kind of been building the show. So if you look at the first, maybe second stream, it's kind of a little more plain than, let's say, this stream. You noticed I've added more graphics in here, kind of automated the system a little bit, and that's my goal, is kind of automate things, because when you're a one-man show, you want things to be automated. So I've set triggers for my graphics, so when I change cameras, when the show starts in the beginning, hopefully all my timers work right, but I'll have the splash screen up there so you guys can see what's coming up, and then a countdown timer that will show how many more minutes there is before I come on live and start talking. One of the things I'd like to add in the upcoming year would be maybe some little music or something, kind of keep you guys entertained while you are waiting for the actual show to start, and maybe some background music during the show. I don't know. Maybe put on, I don't know what we'll put on. We'll figure something out. But that's kind of what I'd like to do. But you notice I've got some graphics. I had the ticker along the bottom here, kind of telling you to follow me and everything like that. Got that going. That's what I added this year. I added the graphics screen, so that is there. Um, Kind of gives you an idea of what's coming up in the show. I did add the countdown timer, so it will start counting. Usually I try to get the stream running about 10 minutes early. Um, so at 6:50 Eastern time here in the United States, I try to hit this timer to get it started the countdown. Now I noticed a couple times it disappeared on me. I'm sure one of my triggers is off. So I'll work on that and get that refined. So that will be up continuously for you to see. Another thing we have going for us that I put into place this year. Where is it? Where is it? What else? What else did I get? Oh, and my the journey through my brain. Let's go back to the cross zoom here. The journey through my brain. Lower thirds here, because I trying to look a little more professional. Want it to look more professional, and so when I bring in the cameras and stuff like that, I want certain things to happen. So you notice the lower third starts, and as soon as the lower thirds goes away, we've got the ticker across the bottom. I may actually, I'm looking at maybe in 2024 here, putting up some logos for YouTube, Facebook, with maybe a QR code, different things that you can see that are going to kind of bring it out even a little bit more than just maybe having that ticker. So I'm going to automate a few of those things, kind of get them up on the screen, kind of do a little more in-depth graphics, but I think this is a great start. Brand new show. Can't expect everything to be up and highly polished. In fact, I don't want everything highly polished. That's what we're going to look forward to in 2024. 2024, we are going to continue on with the stream of, we're just going to do something and we're going to break things. We're going to forget what I'm talking about. We are going to make mistakes. That's what the journey through my brain is all about. We are in the learning process. We are going to make mistakes. We want to make mistakes because working with computers, working with science, working with electronics, it's not going to go perfectly every time. Even when I take you out eventually doing photography, there's going to be times that my pictures aren't going to be good. I'm going to make mistakes. But I want you to see that process. Because here's the thing. All these other YouTube channels, absolutely. They know what they're doing. They've got it refined. But it takes them a lot of behind the scenes work just to get a show produced. They're going to do editing. They're going to do retakes. They're going to do all this. I don't want to do that because, first of all, I want you to see the reality of doing this stuff. So I want to see you to see the realities of building a server. The mistakes that are made. There's going to be times I'm going to probably have to reload things one or two times just to get them to work right. In fact, I was just thinking about it here a minute ago, and I was like, I really haven't, I don't remember where I put the steps in to actually start programming my drives. I'm actually creating a RAID 5 level server here. We'll get more into that shortly, and I do have some steps, and I'm like, where are they? So we're going to have to dig them up here and during the show and kind of figure out, got them listed somewhere. Where are we listed? So, why am I building a server in the first place? There are a lot of online services. Some are free, but some are paid, that I could store lots of information. Well, I've been going with the free stuff for many years. I've actually had Google, Google Drive. I've had, well, let's see, since Google Drive came out, I was actually in the beta testing group when it was for Gmail back in the day. So I've been on with Google for a long, long time. And it's not that I don't like Google. In fact, I'm using it for YouTube and everything. Hopefully the Google's going to do me some good here. But I don't want to continue on with the free services because I'm trying to get away from places that are selling my information, profiting more off of me. And I want to have a little bit more control of my data, especially if I'm putting documents on there that are personal, more personal. So I want to make sure I have a secure location to keep them. Secure, maybe encrypted. I potentially will be encrypting my server here. So I'm trying to move offline to the fact is I don't want to be sending my information to all these other companies. Now, I did just sign up with Proton, so I do have a paid subscription with Proton. They do have 500 gigabyte drive for storage. That probably, in my opinion, is a little bit more secure because Proton has a philosophy of security. They don't sell your data, they encrypt your data. And I have a little more confidence that my data is more secure with them. But there may be a day when I don't want to keep my stuff with Proton either. I want to have a backup locally, to start out with especially, but I would like to have it locally here, that I can walk up to a computer, walk up to my server, access it directly, and get my information. I want to be able to access and back up all of my devices, whether it's my phone, my computers, my laptop computer that I have upstairs, my wife's computer, anybody that is my family. I wanted them to be able to back up to my server here. And we still want to have all that information accessible, not just here locally in the house, but I'm going to use a domain and actually make it available to my family outside of here. So we could be visiting relatives, we could be on vacation and still have access to our data that is stored here at home. Now, as I said, I have to do encryption. I have to do a lot of security things. Maybe have to do some two-factor authentication. Depends what I'm looking for. But I want to build that system to have that confidence in security. Now, one thing I won't have right away is the safety of 2 locations. Yes, I'm setting up a RAID 5 server here, but I'm going to have one server to start out with. It's going to have 3 drives in it, and we'll show you that here shortly. But it's going to be in one location. So I have a confidence that if my server goes down, if the hardware fails on the server, the drives are still going to be good. If a drive goes down, the other drives will pick up the slack. I will not lose data. It's a RAID 5. And eventually I may put more drives in there. So instead of having 3 drives, I may actually get a server blade, a physical server, instead of using a old, old Lenovo here, old Lenovo computer that I'm converting into a server. But I may actually get a server with, maybe 8, 10, 12 bays, 16, and have those multiple drives as backup. But this is a start. This is where I want to start, because I got to learn how to do some of this. I've been and done networking. I've done computers. I've worked with them. I've worked with multiple different operating systems, but I've never built a server. The second step of this whole build will be to create a second server that's a backup to the primary server. And that second server will be stored in a separate location. So if a fire happens, hopefully it doesn't, but if something happens to the physical location that this server is stored in, I will have another system that backs up everything. That then will be to the level of what I could find in the cloud using Google or Amazon or anything like that. Being in two locations, my information will be backed up. But let's start off with just one right now, because I'll tell you what, for as much as I've been working in the computer world, which I've been in technology for 15 plus years, almost none of my documents, my photos, the family photos, are backed up. We gotta make that change. I can show you right now. I'm gonna pull this off. Right here is a 3 terabyte Western Digital NASWare 2.0 hard drive. This is a NAS hard drive. I had a Western Digital Cloud that, well, this guy right here, my cloud has reflecting a little bit too much light on it, a little white, but that's my cloud from Western Digital. This I can no longer access it. I can no longer access the data on here. This is the only location this data is on. I have not been able to access it. I've been trying multiple ways, direct connections, resets, whatever I can do. I may end up losing all that information. I don't have a backup to this drive. And that's pretty sad, being that I talk about technology. I've lived in the technology world. I've known that I need to back up all these computers. I got a computer up in the closet that's just been sitting there because it's got photos on it, family photos. I want to be able to pull those photos off. All my professional photos that I do as a photographer are not backed up. That is pretty poor work on my part. I need to back up my stuff. This is the first step. Building a server with redundancy. 3 drives that are going to give me a backup so that I can feel a little more confident that my information is secure. And I want it to be secure. So, I decided to build this drive, this server, because I probably got, I don't know how many 100 gigabytes of data on here. I know I probably only have maybe 300 gigs on here of information that I no longer have access to at this point. I'm going to keep trying to work into it, but as of right now, I don't have access to it. I've got ebooks, manuals, I've got training information, I've got things that go way back years. I think I got this drive, I can't even remember. I think it was updated in 2014. Probably put it in around 2013. We moved here to the Tennessee area in 2013, so I probably purchased it right around 2014. So you're looking at almost 10 years of reliable service that this drive has done, and now it's no longer available. I put a lot of information on there. Fortunately, I don't have everything on there. Now I'm building a server that is going to be able to handle everything. I'm going to have my printer going to it, so hopefully I can scan documents there directly to it. I'm going to have my devices are going to be automatically backed up to it. I want my phones, all our phones, to be backed up to it, so all the photos that we have on these devices are not lost. They are somewhere. Losing all these memories, all these pictures, would be devastating. It's not that I go back and look at my pictures all the time, but it's fun to sit there and look at them once in a while. And that is where we are going. So, we are building this server here. I am using an old, let's see, a Lenovo, I think, ThinkStation. My daughter had been using it for quite a while as her primary server. I'm going to just shut this window down here, see if my stream keeps going better. But my daughter was using it for their primary computer for many years, but finally it just can't handle it anymore. One of the big reasons is Windows 11, and we know this from my computer. My gaming computer could not handle Windows 11 anymore with a 120 gigabyte M2 drive. Could not handle Windows 11 anymore, and I didn't have a lot of programs on there. So this computer here, this Lenovo computer, Windows 11 was just a little bit too much for it. It could not handle it anymore. So we're like, okay. I gave in and bought a laptop for my daughter. And now, what do I have here? I have a nice computer that I can make into a server. I also do have another computer over here that I've been using for testing and working with. That's a Lenovo, let's see, that is a Lenovo Idea Center. So that's kind of where I've been testing operating systems, different Linux systems, and trying to that's my playground computer. But I'm building this down here, this ThinkStation, into a new server, giving it new life, because we want to repurpose, reuse. We don't want to send things to landfill or, whatnot, because we want to be able to reuse some of this technology, make it useful again. I'm big into recycling and reusing. So why can't we do that with computers? And we can. We can make these things work for many years to come. So, let me see. This is one of the drives that my son put in that computer. It is a 120 gigabyte drive, that SSD drive that was running the Windows 11 operating system, and go figure, because that's 120 gigs. My gaming computer, 120 gigs, could not handle Windows 11. Here you go. I got a 1 terabyte in here now running Windows 11. I'm using a Seagate desktop HDD drive. That is going to be my primary drive for the server software. Now, this is programmed right now as a Type 1 hypervisor. And yes, I am running it through a USB cable because I had to order another. There's not enough power cables for this computer. I had to order one, and I just got an email earlier today saying, okay, it's not going to be here by the end of the year, end of the week. It's going to be delivered by January 25th. or shipping by January 25th. So, right now I'm running my operating system, a Type 1 hypervisor, for my computer right here off of the USB connected hard drive. So I plug that right into my USB plug on the computer, and then let me show you here. I'm going to bring up my camera on my phone, and we are going to plug in. I'm going to bring that input up here. Yep. So let me turn on some light. There we go. Running over quartz. We gotta love it. So right here is the system that I've got that I'm going to be making into a server. It is a Lenovo system. Not too bad for a computer. Here's the hard drive that I've got plugged into a USB port right here. Down here, I've only got 2 bays for my hard drives. Yeah, I've got everything connected back here. I've got 2 bays for my hard drive, so my third hard drive is kind of sitting in here. I've got to insulate it up a little bit more. I would like to get a better housing on it, just so it doesn't, but I'm not going to be moving this around, so I don't think it would be that big of a deal. And it is setting on the plastic right here. It's sitting on this plastic piece that's holding the other hard drive. So it's not making metal contact with the circuit board or anything like that. So I've got 3 4 terabyte hard drives that I just picked up yesterday from Best Buy. I've got them all plugged in here, plus my 4th drive up here on the top. But these are going to be my redundancies for my RAID 5 system. So these are going to be each other's backups. So 4 terabytes. And that is the important thing when you're looking at, yes, the bottom of this chassis is dusty. I need to find some canned air or something to blow this thing out. It's an older computer, but it works. But, as I said, when you are building a RAID 5 system here, which I am trying to do, I have to you really need to have the same what am I trying to say? You want to have the same size hard drives because it works the best that way. I probably could get away with it, but most computer gurus will say you need to have the same size drive. And that's what I did. I went out and got myself the Western Digital. Let me show you here. Okay, I got Western Digital HDD drives, 3.5 form factor, and it is the 4 terabytes. Yep, they got the 4 terabyte listed up here. Put the label right over it. But I've got 3 of these I bought. Had to run out of town because, you know what? Not a lot of people are having a lot of hard drives in stock, in store. To get 3 hard drives of the same size, I ended up getting these ones at Best Buy. I checked other computer places. Micro Center is one, but the Micro Center that's closest to me in Atlanta, Marietta, I believe. You know what? Didn't have 3 I could have gotten SSD drives, but I would have been adding a lot of extra money to the project. So I picked these ones up for about $78 each at Best Buy. Now, Best Buy here in town did not have it. I actually had to go about an hour and a half up to Knoxville, Tennessee, and pick up my 3 hard drives. They happened to have some. Nobody else in the region had 3 hard drives that were the same. So I get the same brand, the same size, and everything. So I got 3 drives, picked them up yesterday, and went ahead and installed them. So as I said, I have a Type 1 hypervisor. So what is a Type 1 hypervisor? Why do I have that instead of just going straight to a Linux operating system? Because I want to use the Ubuntu server operating system to run this computer. Well, really what the Type 1 hypervisor is going to do is allow me to spin up more than one server on here. So this computer has 4 cores. I could technically run 2 servers on here. Well, as I could start out with 1 server with 2 cores, or 4 cores each, or for that 1 server. Could run 2 servers with 2 cores each. And technically, I could run 4 servers on here with 1 core each. But, you know, I kind of want a little bit more speed than just... So I'm going to run 1 server with 4 cores. And if I do decide to add something more, might slow down my speed a little bit more, but I could add another server on here. On the same hardware, I could run 2 servers with 2 cores each. And these are just file servers. So I don't need a lot of speed. Where I may run into some issues is with my pictures. Some of my pictures can be sizable, especially as a raw photos that I do shoot it as a more of a professional side of my work. Yes, those can be sizable. I'm also thinking, well, I could make this into a media server, so I could put movies on and things like that on here. I need probably all 4 cores to be working just to be able to stream and play my videos elsewhere in the house or over the internet, because as I said, I'm going to set this up accessible through the internet. So, you know, when I'm out on vacation somewhere else visiting relatives, I could pull up some movies and we could watch them. But that's the dream right now. Reality is, I need to build this system yet. I need to put it together. And that's what I'm going to be doing over the next bit of time. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to spin this computer up. I still have, let me see, I got to get... I'm just going to reach over here. I was like, wait, you know what? I wasn't prepared for this show. Why do I think I could do this? Okay. I got one thing plugged in there. Let's plug in we'll plug both of the mouse, and because I don't have wireless mouse or keyboard. So I've got those plugged in right now. I've got to move things out of my way. This is a working studio, so I do other projects other than just sit here and do computer stuff. My little idea book where I keep notes in when I watch YouTube videos and different things like that. I kind of take notes so I know what I want to talk about. Let's see. I got the keyboard hooked up, and let's go with yes, the HDMI cable. Need to get that hooked up. We are going to hook that up down here on the bottom somewhere. And flip it over. Works a lot better. We're going to put the power cord in here. And let's slide it back out of the way a little bit. I'm going to bring up the power. And it's going to be like, freak out, because I did not set up those 3 drives. Let me, I'm going to switch over to my Lenovo computer here. There we go. So now you can see what's coming up on my computer, and it's probably going to be like, huh. But we're booting in, and first thing you'll see come up here, this might take a minute or two. Yes, there will be an error here, I believe. No operating system found, which that's true. There was no operating system inside the computer. So it does come up with that error when I am loading this Type 1 hypervisor. Boot sequence, no operating system found. So that's interesting. I am going to that's right. What I need to do is, let me shut this down. Can't remember if it's F12. I know it's one of these. I need to go in and boot from the drive. Let me go in here. Can't remember. You know, every computer system has a little bit different. So it could be F12, it could be F whatever. I'm trying to remember what it is. Let's see here. May have to take a couple times to... Oh, here we go. Here's my boot menu. So we want to start up from something. And we want to see... Well, I've got 3. That's what I should be booting from. Maybe I got rid of this Type 1 hypervisor. Maybe I just need to go right into the other drive. Let's see here. Give it a minute or two. See if it'll find the boot device. May have to put the... Okay. I am going to... We're just going to jump right into the other drive. We're going to put this drive back on here. This drive right here that I was showing you earlier. Let's see. Because I know it was working with that. As I said, I'm doing this live because I want things to break when I'm working with them. Because this is how we learn, isn't it? We don't learn how to do the troubleshooting. We don't learn how to make things work if they've been working. If we just edit out all the mistakes. Alright. We're getting somewhere now. So we are going straight in Ubuntu server. I'll have to figure out why my Type 1 hypervisor was not working. I don't recall racing it, and I'm going through the same court here, but you know what? That's what live video does. Said, oh, there's a problem with my hard drive, with my operating system. I got to rectify that. Live, I switched out the hard drives real quick, and here we are. You know what? I don't have the network cable plugged in. I think that's what's waiting for now. Network cable. Network! Here we go. Say, where's my network? I'm a server. I need a network. There. Okay. There we go. Now it says, okay, network found. So, there's my home login. Who am I? If I remember. Oh, yes. And that's all the farther I got so far. This is the server that I set up to do something. Now, I did start loading Docker on here because I do want to run all of my services that I'm running, and I'm not sure which services I want to put on here. I'll be planning that out. But I did install Docker. Let's see, could I probably can't make this any bigger from this window at the moment. So I do have Docker. Let's see, what was it? Oh, this is not a Docker command. I know there was. Let's see, where was what was the one that I was using? I'm not the best with Docker yet. I do have a Docker running in the cloud with some of my tools that I use, but I don't go into Docker every day. So I cannot remember right offhand. Maybe my Docker isn't running right now. Let's see if I, let's see. Let me go into. Open this window up here. We're going to say okay. Yeah, that's what it is, Doc. Oh, I gotta do sudo. That's right, Docker. Put my password in here. And you notice I don't have any Docker containers running right now. It's kind of hard to see on this screen. Yes, please forgive me for that, because I'm not running right now on a system where I can expand the text up on the screen a little bit. But you notice the second to the last line down there on the bottom says container ID, image, command, create, status, ports, and names. There's nothing listed there. So I do not currently have any Dockers running. Now I suppose I could spin up a Docker, wouldn't take much. But I have to try to figure out what I'm going to put on here. I could put Nextcloud on here. Nextcloud is a good file server program. I may consider putting that on there. But as I said, I may want to put a media server on there. So I may be looking at things like, let's see, I may be looking at not just Nextcloud, but Kodai. I may be putting all that on there. So I can make it into a media server. But I've heard Nextcloud is a good file server. But before I get into any of that, I need to format my disks. I haven't even formatted or even created these disks into a RAID 5 setup. So right now, as far as this computer's showing, these aren't disks that are set up for my computer yet. So let me get in here and try to find that information I was looking at before. was that? Trying to find my command that I used for listing all my disks here. What was it? Yes, a lot of people, some people are using Diskbowl, but I'm not doing that. That's right, this is the one I used before. So right now, yeah, that's a little bit hard to see down on the bottom. Let me zoom out here. Love to be able to zoom in on this right here, but I'm listing right here at the, and I don't have a cursor to show you, or I can't point it out with a mouse, but I have listed, 6 drives on this system, but I've got 4 installed drives here, and they're showing a couple of them that aren't installed. Probably some USB drives that I had and stuff like that. To remember all these commands, that's the process of computers. You are not going to remember and know everything about your computer system. You're not going to remember every command there is. That's what the internet's for, is to help us get along. Now, there will be things we use on a regular basis that we are going to learn. It's kind of learning spreadsheets, Excel spreadsheets. We can go in and fill in cells. We can do the formatting with the stuff we do every day. Some of us will use certain formulas every day, certain commands every day. Those are the things we'll get to know. Just like when we're working with our computer systems. We're going to know shortcuts. We're going to know what Control V is, Control C, and we're going to know Control P is for print and different things like that. We're going to know those shortcuts. But we can't know everything. So you have cheat sheets. That's what I operate off. That's what I learned from. Cheat sheets. Look it up on the internet. That is the best way to learn how to do the stuff that I'm doing. And yes, I am learning along the way. Just like hopefully you are learning something along the way. We're going to put these things together. Yes, right now I need to decide. Am I going to be installing... What am I installing on this thing? Let's see. I have to even try to remember... Go down here and be able to log in. Can I log in from my other computer here? It is networked, so let me see. I couldn't remember this yesterday. Oh, that's right. I had to use PuTTY. Let's see, what's the... Let's see, I did have to use PuTTY. Let me see. Yep. Let's see, can I bring that other screen up here? I do have another screen here. Here's my screen. Come on. So this is kind of what I'm doing. Let me change settings. I know, maybe it's not PuTTY that I can actually increase my window size. There's something I can increase this window size on. Let me, ooh, that's hard on the eyes. Let me get rid of that. Well, anyway, I've got PuTTY running here. And so I can log into my server from here. I can do that. See? There's my server. Same thing as I was just showing you over here. Let's see, right here. Same thing, same setup. But now, I'm using it on my other computer here, which kind of makes it a little nicer. Let me see. Yep, there we go. So now I'm down there in the corner. Didn't mean you really need to see my mug anyway. And so I've got this running. And yes, I can do Docker again. And that was a ps-a sudo docker ps/a. That kind of shows everything that the Docker is running right now, which is nothing, as we said before. Really nothing running here. As I could point out now with a cursor. Right here, it's got the container ID, image, everything like that. So that's not running. Now let me load something in here. What was it? And there's help and everything. You know, so when you're working with servers, when you're working with Linux systems in general, here I could show you this. Docker, let's see. So, right here is the manual for Docker. Awesome. I've got a manual for my Docker right here online. So it can tell me all the different commands, it can tell me what I need to do to install, build, pull, install images, list the images, how to log in and out. It's got all this information on here. But, you know, I don't need a manual from anywhere else. I can just go here and figure it out. But what I was hoping to do, let's see, we'll cancel that. I don't want to close the session just yet. You know what? Maybe I do, because I am a little worried about my stream health here. Let me just double check to see how the stream is doing. Because I don't want to put too much text. I notice that we're running in the yellow at the moment. So, going back here. View channel. Good. So we seem to be fairly healthy there. And if we look at the Facebook, we're going to go switch over to the journey through my brain. Just double checking, because I'm looking at orange instead of red. Red usually means we're good at health. Orange means that we're lacking somewhere. So we are showing that I am live. Okay. Yes. So we are live. But let me close this, because I don't need that in there. But what I'm looking at potentially getting into is Nextcloud. Let me bring up my Brave browser here. Come on, Brave. There we go, Brave browser. So we could go Nextcloud. And this is a wonderful um, server, wonderful file server basically. So it gives you a lot of options. So that's what I'm looking at putting in on my server here. But I haven't decided yet. So my next steps is to actually get these hard drives set up in a RAID 5 format. Wasn't prepared to do that today. We'll have them done by the next show. And then we will continue to install software. I'm going to run all the software through on my server, probably through Docker, so that they're just kind of really easy to work with. So I would like to just kind of conclude today with saying not everything's going to go perfect. You notice today didn't necessarily go perfect. I had to switch out a hard drive, which I wasn't prepared to switch out. But I did show you a couple things, showed you a little bit around. Kind of talked about what this next year is going to bring. And yes, it's going to still continue to be mistakes. It's still going to continue to be learning. Because that's what I want to do here. I hope you got something out of today's show. Please follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. It definitely helps follow me and hit the like. It helps the algorithms on each of these platforms. And I hope you stick with me, because as we continue to build and grow, this channel is going to grow. Really, when you start at the bottom, it has to go up. That's what I figure. So yes, I am fairly new at this. I'm fairly new at this YouTube stuff. Fairly new. I've been studying and I'm doing this stuff. I've done various shows on and off. But this is kind of like the first real show that I'm really getting going here. And I've got some other channels that I'm working on, potentially, because I've got another Facebook page that it's kind of taken on a life of its own. More and more people are following it. I'm getting more views every day, and I kind of put that aside a few months ago. It's like to work on this. So I'll probably bring that back a little bit. We'll see. But I want to hone this. I want to show you computers. I want to show you electronics. I want to show you what I do here in my home lab. And give you some ideas to think about. Everything's going to work. Not everything's going to be perfect. But everything is going to be useful. The process to learn how to do these things is going to be what it takes. So that is what we're going to do going into 2024. I'm going to be a little more prepared for shows, hopefully. But if not, I'm sure we'll just have good chats back and forth. And as the show progresses, I will have more chat capabilities, so we can have a little more two-way conversations. I'd really like to do that. Get ideas from you. You can get ideas from me. And I hopefully can answer some of your questions along the way. Well, I see we have come up to the 1 hour mark. Officially 8 o'clock now. And I'm going to end this stream, call it a night, regroup, and I'll be back here next year at the same time, same place, same channel, same show, and we're just going to have some fun. All right, we'll talk to you later. Have the most wonderful week, and we'll see you in the new year.